Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. We're getting ready to fry out some hamburger. It's actually ground chuck. I got it at Walmart. Now, if y'all watched a lot of the videos, you know I really like Walmart's ground beef. I do. I don't like any of their other meats, but I really like the ground chuck and the ground round, all of it. So this is, let's see, 2 pounds. So what we're going to do is go ahead and fry it out and probably end up with, I'd say, at least 4 meals from this 2 pounds or more. So we're just going to dump it out. I've already cut that little wrapper off of it, and I've got my skillet already hot. So we're going to dump it in. And I'm going to spread it out. Now, we'll be using this for, see how it's still red in the middle? You know how when you get a hamburger, sometimes it's dark in the middle? Anyway, I do think that their hamburger tastes really good. And the ground chuck and all of it. It just tastes good to me. I'm not even going to put any salt on this. All I'm going to do is brown it. And I want it to actually be brown, you know, and at least parts of it to actually be brown. So now I've got my burner on medium high. I'm just going to put my splash guard over it because I don't want that all over my stove. So one of the things we'll use this for will be spaghetti. We can use it for tacos. We can also use it, I usually put some on on pizza, a little bit on there, and maybe even make some kind of casserole. So this eliminates having to cook it when you're getting ready to make something, because that's always a big mess when you fry out hamburger. And even if you're making tacos or enchiladas or anything like that, it's just a lot of trouble. So anyway, I'm going to put it in this little container. This is the container the dates were in that I fixed earlier. I've already marked it and everything. So once I cook it, I'm going to actually put it in this bowl right here with the paper towels to get it to soak up a lot of the grease. Then I'm going to spread it out on a cookie sheet and freeze it that way. Then I'll transfer it into this little container, so all I got to do is take the lid off and take out however much I need. So anyway, we're going to let this get good and brown, and when it does, we'll be back. Alright, I have taken my splatter screen off of the ground chuck, and you can see there's a lot of moisture in there, so I took this off so that a lot of that moisture can evaporate. Now I'm not going to turn it or anything, I'm not going to stir it, none of that, until that water all gets evaporated out, and then it'll start browning. Then I'm going to put back on my screen because I want it all good and brown. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so most of the liquid is evaporated out of this, and what's left is mostly grease. So we're going to turn this over now. It's somewhat brown. Keep it up in little small pieces, so I'm just going to chop it up a little bit. Alright, so we're going to let this other side of it get good and brown, make sure everything's completely done. And so now that a lot of the liquid has evaporated, it's going to start splattering. So I'm going to put the splatter spring back on, and when this gets all good and brown, we'll be back. Alright, the hamburger is all completely done and very nicely brown. See there? So I'm going to cut my burner off now. Make sure I scrape up all the brown stuff that sits on the bottom to make it really taste great in a in any kind of dish that we cook for it, or put it in. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take it up into this bowl here. Just be careful to scrape up everything on the bottom. So we're going to let that sit in the bowl for a little while and let a lot of that grease soak up into the paper towel, and also let it cool. Now, while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and make lunch. So lunch is going to be panini brigade. I don't even know how to say that. Anyway, it's the panini noodles that look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cook those. And I'm going to make a sauce, just a marinara type sauce. So the first thing I want to do, let me back y'all up a little bit. Whoop, there we go. Is put in some green bell peppers that I've already sliced lengthwise. And I will also cut up an onion to go in there too. I'm cutting my onion in strips also. All right, I'm going to finish cutting this onion up, and I'm also going to slice some mushrooms, and we'll be right back. All right, my peppers and onions have pretty well cooked. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil right to the middle of that pan. Some thin sliced fresh mushrooms, going to go right there in the middle. And I'm going to also use a little bit of garlic powder right over the top of everything. A little bit of salt. And use some parsley flakes. And oregano. Oh, can you believe I did that? Hold on, I gotta dip that out of there. Hold on. All right, don't do as I do. Yeah, this was a flip top lid, I didn't realize it. But anyway, I've got most of it out. Well, I'd say at least half of it. But it's okay, because this is an Italian dish, so we need oregano. Alright, so we're just going to cook those mushrooms for just a little bit. Yeah, see what I did? The whole top came off. See? I didn't realize it flips up. Some of them come off, some of them flip up. I don't know. Alright, so we'll just stir this around, and now I'm going to add just a little bit of just red wine. I can get the top off of this thing. There we go. Just a little bit of red wine, maybe half a cup. So we're going to let this cook down and let it deglaze the pan, and we'll be back. Alright, we are back, and you definitely can tell I've got more oregano than usual in this, but we're going to add just some Prego traditional marinara or spaghetti sauce to that. And I'm going to go ahead and pan a couple of spoonfuls of the hamburger or the ground chuck. That's really, well, maybe about 2½ tablespoons of that meat. There we go. So I'm just going to stir that around. We're just going to let this simmer while our panini is finishing getting soft. That should be another, let's see, 7 minutes. Alright, so we're just going to let this simmer a little bit down on low And I want to get back to the ground chuck a minute. I'm going to dump the rest of this out on the parchment paper, and I'm going to freeze it all spread out. See all the grease that's soaked up in there? So we're just going to spread this out now on the parchment paper because I want it to be loose when I put it into the little carton. So I'll be able to dip out what I need. So this is enough probably for 3 more meals right here when I get ready to freeze. Because we don't really eat that much meat. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to put it in the freezer after it's good and frozen, transfer it to this little container, and we'll be done. Alright, so once the panini gets ready, we'll be back. Alright, the panini is done, and I didn't let it drain completely because I want some of that water in with the sauce. There's a little bit in the pan I'm going to add right back in there. Now all we're going to do is stir this around. Get all of that pasta coated. I'm going to add some shredded Parmesan all over the top of it. All right, there it is. So what's going to happen now is putting the lid on it. The burner's been turned off. We're going to let it sit here for probably a good hour, and then when we get ready to eat, which will be in another maybe 2 or 3 hours, I'll just pop this whole pan in the oven for about 15 minutes and we'll warm it back up and the taste will have all mingled. Okay, y'all, so this is I had to take my cover for the fan off because it got very humid in here. Anyway, so we use the hamburger. I'm thinking I'll get 4 meals out of that pack of hamburger. But anyway, this meal, I don't ever freeze this because Mr. Bucky likes it so much he has to eat it again the next day. So we just have it one day, then we have it again the next day, and we'll have this with a salad and some $1 a loaf Walmart bread. This is Italian bread, and I can't make bread this cheap, y'all, and I think it's good. So there it is, $1. Yeah, works out really well. All right, so we will see y'all next time. Bye.